The anime community is just full of some of the most insufferable people, dude. The anime fandom is almost as, not quite as bad, but almost as bad as the fucking Nintendo fandom, man. Jesus Christ. Those people take that shit super seriously. Like, even when I would tell them, oh yeah, I watch Dragon Ball, and then they find out I watch it dubbed. You watch anime dubbed? Yeah, I don't speak Japanese. I don't want to read a novel while I watch, you know, a couple guys yell and their hair change color. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Let me watch the one anime I want to watch the way I want to watch it. Jesus fucking Christ, you gatekeeping assholes.
But whatever the fuck this is.
I'm hungry. Treat. I'll do a backflip for a treat. I'll do a backflip for a treat.
They make content, they stream, some have their own.
What the fuck did I just watch? No, you can't just roll on past that. You give me no context. What the fuck was that?
Where were the big boobers and tit sliders?
Holy fuck! I just looked up at the screen. What the? Holy moly melons! God damn! This is why I can't get into VTubers. It always devolves into this shit. Before I start Oblivion, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's stream. The topic of the title, the most hated VTuber. And I have a feeling that there's going to be some known faces in this one. I believe this video is about Nux Taku, who I'm only familiar with because he would occasionally do some commentary stuff with Mudahar. And they were friends, which led to kind of a public falling out between them and Mudahar kind of becoming a lolcow because he kind of sided on the side of the guy who has some lolicon and didn't disavow it and may have been a lolicon enjoyer himself. Hopefully we get the full context here. I don't know. I didn't really keep up with that drama as I've never been a big fan of Mudahar. I always found it weird that there was a commentary channel that was, like, the name always threw me off. Some Ordinary Gamers. And I was like, but there's no gaming on your channel. It's all just drama stuff. I mean, granted, I play video games and cover drama stuff, but I don't pretend to be a gaming channel either. I'm just me. My channel's just Deathwitch. It's just whatever I want it to be. I play video games sometimes, sure, but you know, I also thoroughly enjoy the YouTube drama. Try to keep up with it. But I was never a fan of Mudahar's, and I don't really care about him, so I'm kind of missed out on this one. But now that the dust has settled on that whole drama, I figure we'll revisit it and have a look at everything that went down and kind of get me brought up to speed, because Mudahar himself is in a rather new drama here recently. He's back. And I'm going to cover that next. So before I do that, which not this stream, but next stream we'll probably get caught up on that. Him and Mama Max are back. So before we get caught up on all that, I figure it'd be nice to revisit why they had a fall from grace to begin with and kind of left YouTube for a while, and why then we can discover why they're back. Anyway, here we go. The most hated YouTuber.
So I've become...
And thank you for the dono, Demon. Appreciate it, man. Damn, you were on points with those tonight. Double dono. Appreciate it, man. For after. Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah. You can go ahead and bank all you want, Darren. All right. Anyway, let's do a sound check. Get this up.
somewhat of a scholar in VTubers as of recently. Don't worry, it was completely involuntary. I wouldn't condone the knowledge I've absorbed being put on anyone else. But since their first conception in 2016, and later popularity in 2019 to 2020, which has carried it all the way to the present day, where like endless mitosis, they've reproduced to the point where they are everywhere. There's a VTuber for every...
Look, I never understood the VTuber phenomenon to begin with. I don't get it at all. I don't understand, especially the ones that like don't sound like their voice matches their avatar. Like, I don't understand we're just staring at anime tits on screen now while some guy streams or some girl streams, while some person streams whose voice usually doesn't match the avatar. I mean, I'm not a fan of anime in general. I mean, I watch Dragon Ball, but that's the one everyone watches. I don't consider you a Dragon Ball fan if you or anime fan if you only watch Dragon Ball. That's the one people who don't know what anime is watch. Just like I don't consider you a gamer because you play Mario games casually. Like, my grandma plays Mario. I would consider grandma a gamer. You know, there's guys I know who watch anime, and that's literally the only anime they know. Dragon Ball's the one everyone knows. So I don't consider myself an anime fan, and I definitely don't understand the people who jerk off to anime girls. Like, I don't understand why you jerk off to cartoon tits when real porn is very available and very free. It's very, very free. If you're watching a stream to jerk off to people while they game, there's places you can go to get that. You don't have to stare at the cartoon version. Like, I don't get it, but hey, vTubers exploded in popularity, so maybe he'll explain how that happened, and we can get a full history here.
Every animal almost. I'm still waiting on a water bear VTuber though, or one that is inspired by a slot machine that has a gambling addiction. I feel like I'd resonate with them very well. But due to
Okay, some of these are definitely jokes, and I can get the jokes. The slot machine gambling addiction one that probably does gambling streams or plays gacha games, that's funny. I get that.
its popularity, there are a range of VTubing personalities. Some more reserved and safe for work, some at the other side of the spectrum, and then some you'd think were on a different type of spectrum with whatever the fuck this is.
That's lolicon, right? Like, I'm not super familiar with anime, but when it's like young girls like that and they're, well, maybe this one isn't sexualized, but that's what lolicon is, right? Somebody want to correct me if I'm wrong? That's what I thought lolicon was.
I'm hungry. Treat. I'll do a backflip for a treat. I'll do a backflip for a treat.
They make content, they stream, some have their own.
What the fuck did I just watch? No, you can't just roll on past that. You give me no context. What the fuck was that? Seriously, what the fuck was that? Was that the stream? Like, is that the content?
Lore better than any of the latest Marvel movies. They have their own meet and greets at events. They even have their own concerts which sell a lot of tickets. The internet is infatuated.
I did not know that the VTuber thing was this big. I might start VTubing. I want some of that money. I want some of that convention money. Anybody know how to do a VTuber thing? Somebody want to make me an avatar? I'll do a couple streams, see what happens. Fuck it. No, adult avatars only. If you're gonna draw me a free avatar, adult ones only. Don't make me look like a kid. It ain't gonna happen. Thank you for the donos, guys.
With VTubers, and VTubing is accessible to anyone. If you can fork out the money for a VTubing model with multiple toggles and features, like a tit slider and jiggle physics.
Yeah, those are the ones I've seen that I was like, okay, so this is just Gooner material. So you just buy these? So you just buy like a thing to put up in OBS, and then it just you just buy a model? I thought people made these models. Where do I go to buy one of these models? Like, if I do a VTuber stream, though, it's obviously going to be satirical. It's going to have to be an over-the-top VTuber model that I'm doing. I'm debating whether or not to make it look like me or to do just like the biggest, blackest, biggest titted anime fucking chick I can do, and then just give it my redneck voice. Just voice doesn't match the VTuber. Just go all in, you know. I might do it.
Which is essentially like jingling keys for the absolute gooners of the VTuber
Yep,
audience.
there it is.
However, VTubing has become slightly oversaturated over the years, and it is hard to differentiate yourself from the sheer amount of VTubers that there is. But apart from that, VTubing comes with a lot of benefits over their fleshy counterparts, like being able to say the most abhorrent and viscous statements with complete anonymity.
Where's your fucking art degree, buddy? Where's your fucking art degree? Oh, you have one? Okay, Hitler.
Probably due to the sheer popularity and benefits of being a VTuber, you can now find many other content creators adopting their own VTuber personality. But with the vast amount of people partaking in such format, with a variety of personalities and opinions, it's only natural that some VTubers would be favoured over others and some just outright hated. This brings me to the topic of today's video. One of the most hated VTubers that recently can't seem to catch a break, someone that had the complete opposite reputation only a few years ago, and someone I've spoken about before but never really in depth, Nux Taku. Yasina's Gunpai has recently removed herself from the internet due to people finding out that she wasn't in
Yeah, I love him. He wants to manage or LARP me? What the fuck does that even mean? He made so many spreadsheets. Hi, dude. Hold on, what is the context of this? I feel like I missed something.
Has recently removed herself from the internet due to people finding out that she wasn't in fact single and dating all her audience.
Dating all of her audience?
Due to people finding out that she wasn't in fact single and dating all.
Hold on. We gotta full screen this. Dating all of her audience? I'm a silly person online, also your girlfriend?
All her audience, which was a.
What is this one? Azu was an AFK paid mod who basically scammed me, and Eki is the reason why I'm not going to Offkai. Yeah, I don't fault you for not knowing.
A new level of parasocial degeneracy.
Hold on. Like, you're skipping over some of these real quick.
All her
I'm
audience,
trying to catch that next one.
which was a new level of parasocial degeneracy.
You're gonna be banned anyway? Yeah, Yeppers like to post Nazi stuff enough to get your server to get banned. Please just ban him.
She even invited them to send dick pics as.
Invited them to. How old are you? I was born in 2000, and we send you intimate photos, of course, dick pictures, nudes, etc.
Part of the girlfriend experience, but she's gone now, and probably has a solid terabyte of uncut penis on her hard drive, and that one other VTuber really doesn't count in this category, because most people still don't know they exist, which is partially a good thing. So the title now falls on Nux, as in recent years he's been regarded to be one of the most hated VTubers, and still to this day gets shit like a public outhouse more than any other VTuber. But who is Nux Taku? How did he become so hated, and does he deserve it?
I'm just incredibly famous on the internet, so people decide to try to cancel me on Twitter for some reason because they're jealous of my incredible success.
So for one of the most hated VTubers, you'd have probably expected this man to have spawned straight from the spread cheeks of Nurgle, with malice and hate as his prerogative. Which isn't that far from the truth. Nux originally started posting on the internet in 2015 with anime-based videos which I cannot relate to in any way. Anybody that has ever made such content should be lined up and shot with hollow points, 7 points.
I don't know about that. If you want to enjoy anime, enjoy anime. I've tried to watch some of it, and it is just not for me. I get it's super popular. I get part of it is because it's Gooner material. I don't get either. I don't get watching it for the non-Gooner material. Like, I watched Dragon Ball for nostalgia reasons because I watched it as a kid. But my kids have sat down and watched some new anime and tried to get me to watch it with them. And I've watched a few episodes of Demon Slayer. Watched a few episodes of My Hero Macadamia. And can't get into it. Demon Hunter feels like it's got that, well, stop them with the power of friendship vibes that I just can't get into. And My Hero Macadamia is like Dragon Ball if they cried during every fight instead of yelled. Like, that's just what that feels like to me. It's like, oh, they just cry a lot. Cool. Okay, not for me. Glad you said something, though. I do need to put the Discord link up in chat. Give me just a sec. I'm going to throw that up in chat. I need to remember to start doing this at the start of the stream because I usually pin it at the top of chat. But anyway, here, I'll send out a Discord link if you guys want to join the Discord. No Gooner material in my Discord, please. This is a game and drama community focused thing. So that's what we do here. So, nothing that'll get my Discord banned, or you will be promptly banned. No Gooner material. We keep everything PG-13 in my server, so everybody's aware. Okay. Oh no, you're in the Discord messages from that VTuber? Looked like Discord messages. You're in one of those Discord messages? I would admit to that. I don't think this video is going to paint anybody in this. I don't think this video is going to paint anybody in there in a good light. If you're in one of these, if you're in one of these Discord messages, one of these VTubers. Oh, you're not? Messages. Oh, you're already in my Discord. Okay, well, I'm putting it up in the chat for everybody else. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you meant you were in the video's Discord messages, like you were one of the ones he showed the DMs of. I was like, oh shit, I wouldn't admit to that. The messages on screen. Yeah, they were from Discord. They were leaked Discord DMs he was showing. Yeah. There's a lot of that in these videos. That's how a lot of these like gooners and PDF files and people like that end up getting caught, is because they try to groom over Discord, and they do this shit over Discord, and then it leaks. Somebody leaks it, or somebody hacks their account, that kind of thing. Basically, Discord's not a safe platform to do your gooning on, all right? So don't goon on Discord.
6-2 rounds, but I digress. Nux had made his start on the internet making primarily anime-targeted content, which people actually loved. A major critique against Nux from previous fans seems to be that they enjoyed it when he just made anime-themed content rather than the content he would later shift to. But we'll talk about that later. But in the current time frame, the gravy train was not ending for Nux. He collaborated with many content creators doing the same niche he was, that at the time held a lot of influence on the platform. And he even eventually reached over 1 million subscribers by 2019.
Yeah, I remember he was big, and he was showing up on all the commentary channels, and every time he'd show up, it'd be so jarring. I feel like I got flashbanged by a VTuber, because I'd be there watching, like Nicholas Diorio, Mudahar, and a couple of other drama YouTubers that I follow, and they'd all be doing some kind of a Discord call, kind of a debate or a talk or whatever. And then out of nowhere, like, they all have like their normal avatars or face cams up, and out of nowhere this VTuber pops up. So you see a bunch of normal people like me with regular webcams, and then a VTuber just dancing around on screen and sparking out. And I was like, why the fuck is he here? What is happening right now? I never understood it. I just never understood the fascination with this guy.
Just by once again doing anime content, and conveniently around the same time, by his own words, somehow got cancelled for the first time in the year of 2020, which was one of the first of many to come, and honestly, to Nux's credit, he has withstood a lot of them. You cannot take it away from him. Dude has tanked controversies even though sometimes it's down to his own actions. But his first cancellation, in his own words, was due to comments he made towards animes and anime characters. Yeah, we must have been very bored in 2020.
I mean, it was COVID. Getting canceled over anime. The anime community is just full of some of the most insufferable people, dude. The anime fandom is almost as, not quite as bad, but almost as bad as the fucking Nintendo fandom, man. Jesus Christ. Those people take that shit super seriously. Like, even when I would tell them I watch Dragon Ball, and then they find out I watch it dubbed. You watch anime dubbed? Yeah, I don't speak Japanese. I don't want to read a novel while I watch, a couple guys yell and their hair change color. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Let me watch the one anime I want to watch the way I want to watch it. Jesus fucking Christ, you gatekeeping assholes. This is why no one wants to be part of your fandom, because you're all a bunch of douchebags. I don't really understand the NSFW VTubers. Like, is that turning someone on? A disembodied voice moaning? Yeah, it's weird. It's like they combine VTubering or anime gooning with ASMR. I think that's supposed to be the idea. But oh my god, it's cringe. It's just cringe.
And one of the comments that put him under scrutiny was when he referred to male anime characters that presented themselves as feminine under the title of traps, which I just...
Oh, he went old school with it. That's an old school term.
Discovered recently has become a slur. Thank you for the 20...
Oh, it's become a slur? What, it wasn't a slur before? I mean, it was definitely like a meme back then where they'd show like a Thai ladyboy and be like, it's a trap! Yeah, and then you had the fucking guy from Star Wars. Yeah. A word popular in the anime community to describe characters who look like the opposite gender. It applies to both males and females, though it is most commonly used for male characters. Yeah, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. Although back in the 2016 era, back in my day, it was never just anime. Like, it applied to, like, real people. Like, they'd post pictures of real people and be like, it's a trap! Lady boys kind of thing.
2020 slur patch notes 5 years later. And to be honest, I haven't heard anyone use the word trap in a while. The second thing he was accused of was being racist, because he pronounced Full Metal Alchemist like this. And the third thing was that...
Okay, I'll give it to him. That's good. That's kind of funny. I've done that joke before. I don't think making fun of accents makes you racist. There are a lot of Japanese and Asian people who don't have an accent. There's famously one on YouTube who fakes the accent in order to get views or to try to get parts and stuff because he's trying to be an actor. And he's like, I'll go there to apply. And he's like, dude, I'm from Ohio. And he talks like me. He just talks like a regular American. And they're like, can you do an accent? And he's like, ugh. So he has to fake an Asian accent to get Asian parts. I'd say that's more racist than me making fun of the accent, but whatever.
That he was sexist for talking about anime female characters in a negative way. But sorry to say, Sakura is a fucking useless character. I had to say she would have been more useful as a shuriken shield than anything else in the story. But out of all the controversies that Nux would later have, this one was by far the least impactful on his online reputation. But Nux's response to these allegations and critiques gives you a good example on Nux's online persona, which has persisted even to this present day. He kind of just told them to go f*** themselves, and he clammed on the people hating on him, and clarified he wasn't in the wrong because the majority of the time he was just talking about anime characters.
I don't think I did anything that warrants an apology, and therefore I, Lord D. Nuxanor, will not be apologizing.
This is the persona a lot of people revered him for. He was someone that had relatively no filter and was certainly unapologetic for it. He was loud, energetic.
I respect that. Like, so far, I think his response is acceptable. I have no problem with this so far. I mean, I'm not a fan of his content, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get to the worst of it. There's got to be a reason we hate him other than he just has bad anime takes. Although, with the way the anime fandom acts, I'd believe it. I'm hoping that's not all this video is.
Satirical, and in his own words, he just loved the chaos and just flexing on the haters. That is also a term I haven't heard for a while. People loved this about him. It was somewhat of a breath of fresh air for that time, which to many's horror, someone with the same characteristics and significantly less apologetic was about to become popular around the same time. Ball of
Low tier god! Shout out. Classic lolcow material. The Crash Out King himself.
What I've just mentioned was before he even became a VTuber. He actually only debuted as a VTuber in 2021, which mentioned before was around the boom of VTubing. Before his debut, he was like a 2D VTuber of sorts, using his character that looks like a black tar heroin version.
Yeah, doing it the old Turkey Tom way, where you put an avatar on screen and then you jiggle it around, which is what Turkey Tom did in his early days before he started using a face cam or got, better software. But, I mean, his excuse then was he was, like 14 at the time, so he's just working with what he had. So, I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. I'm sure this stream will be looked back on, should I ever actually make it. I'm sure that this stream will be looked back on one day as, like, low quality compared to whatever my stuff is going to evolve into when and if I ever make enough money to upgrade shit.
Version of Sans from Undertale. But he was never considered a VTuber till that day of early 2021. And compared to other VTubing models, it did get its fair share of criticism. It didn't track very well. Sometimes his lips didn't collaborate very well with what he was saying. People once again thought he was just a Sans Undertale clone.
I mean, that could be the fault of his camera. He could have had a shitty camera that makes it where his frame rate's too low or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of technical reasons for it. Buying the software means you also have to have, like, the hardware to make it look good.
Where were the big...
Holy fuck! I just looked up at the screen. What the... Holy moly melons! God damn! This is why I can't get into VTubers. It always devolves into this shit.
Boobers and tit sliders. Disgraceful. But many of his fans actually loved it. It collaborated very well with his online personality and content, but after this he did start to stray away from his anime themed content, with VTuber related videos and general trends at the time. Like, I gave X amount to a starving Serbian child, and he even threw a few songs in there as well. But with his new type...
Oh no, play the songs! Play the songs! I'm already at, like, cringe level 11. Let's go. I mean, I'm here for the cringe, baby. Play the songs.
Of content, he started to receive a lot more attention. Even with the disagreement from his older fans, he managed to reach 2 million subscribers.
Jesus!
And even collaborated with the top echelons of YouTube, like Some Ordinary Gamers, Moist Critical, Umperville, and Lost Paws, who I feel like I haven't seen in a while, and obviously other VTubers like Bao and Iron Mouse. He even started a podcast in 2021 with Umperville.
I mean, I've heard of, like, Ordinary Gamers. Yeah, some ordinary podcast. I've heard of Ordinary Gamers, and yeah, like, why didn't you rebrand your fucking YouTube channel and make the gaming separate and just be some ordinary drama or something like that. I never understood why he only did drama on the Some Ordinary Gamers. It was just a weird like disconnect between YouTube channel name and the content that was actually on it. But no, I recognize Moist Critical, Mudahar, like the normal people, but when he starts talking about the VTubers, I have no idea who these people are.
Bill and Mutaha, just talking about things that happened on the internet. And even though his older fans criticised him, his content had changed drastically, and he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. All of this was outweighed by the support and positivity for him. However, due to a number of controversies regarding his own actions, the tide of positivity quickly turned against him. And in the current day, he doesn't collaborate with many YouTubers like he used to. His content has mainly evolved into just slop reaction content. Oops, sorry, wrong channel. And on his second channel, There's
nothing wrong with slop, right? You pigs gotta eat. I'm happy to provide the slop reaction content over here. Don't judge me.
He's dived into politics, which has also landed him in...
That I won't do. Politics is like the most toxic thing on the internet and just something I do not give two fucks about. I understand it's tied to like everything nowadays, but my God, I could not give less of a fuck about politics.
Hot water, and many of the people that were once close to him have seemingly distanced themselves from him. Many address him now with either infamousy or just outright hate, which is very polarizing when compared to his previous years on the platform. But what are these controversies, and does he deserve a reputation that is essentially on the same level as a urinal cake marinated in piss?
The point that I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno.
Now, probably one of the first major and most confusing controversies Nux faced was in 2021 with vShoujo. Conveniently not long after he debuted, vShoujo is a VTubing agency with many of the juggernauts of the VTubing scene on...
Wait, are we still doing agencies? I thought it got proven that like YouTube agencies are mostly scams. I thought that was a known thing.
Their belt, like Iron Mouse, Project Melody, Zentreya, Fruit, and many more being added to this day. However, even before the events occurred, Nux and the talent of vShoujo were on good terms. They created content together, interacted in the cesspool that is Twitter, and just all around seemed to have a good relationship. However, in 2021, somebody was targeting vShoujo, and were pretending to be vShoujo in order to gather VTubers' personal information to harass, dox, and even swat them. Some of the emails appeared like they were coming from vShoujo recruitment, and one specifically was sent to an indie VTuber, where they essentially thought their dreams were coming true, and they were asked to join.
God, I am never not shocked by how easily these people fall for these phishing scams. It is so fucking easy to just click on the fucking email address that's sending you that and see if it comes from the actual domain it claims to be from. At the very least, you can copy and paste that email address into Google and see if it comes up on the official site. Like, it's so easy to just verify that real quick before you click any links in the email or respond to things. But so many people get blinded by their dreams coming true, or get chance of fame, or chance of getting rich, or whatever the case may be, that they just fall for it. It's like, you don't need to know how to hack to get into somebody's account. Just be good at social engineering and phishing. Oh my God, it's so easy.
Join vShoujo, but first they would have to put all their information in which the police then showed up to their house because they had just been swatted. Nux had received the same email, but he knew it wasn't vShoujo. He got in contact with the vShoujo management team and cybersecurity team to tell them what was happening and that potentially more VTubers are going to fall victim to this, but vShoujo was already aware this was happening and were doing their own investigation. Nux began his own investigation by providing the wrong information to the email so they would contact him, and at one point they even flexed they had his information in a Discord server for some reason, which was provided to...
It's always Discord, man. Told you guys. It's always Discord.
Nux by one of his apparent fans.
There's sources of info that I got, which are kind of hilarious. This dude was flexing that he got my real name and phone number, which he didn't, and he was posting it in his Discord servers, and one of the people in the Discord server that he was posting it was a fan of mine.
Nux was working on a full video covering this topic and spreading awareness about it. The vShojo's cybersecurity team and management knew about this video being made and were communicating directly with Nux about the video through things like Discord, and he even showed them the video before it was released. This also involved one of the vShojo talents that was never named.
Someone is out there impersonating vShojo, the massive VTuber group. They tried to steal my info, dox me, and swat me, and they've successfully done this to many, many other VTubers. This is not
Now, to Nux's credit, the video promptly spread awareness about the situation, potentially saving more indie VTubers that would want to join vShojo, and just spreading awareness about general cybersecurity etiquette. Yes, if you received an email from Jackman saying you're the top 1%.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, raising awareness is the only way to stop those things, because you can call the cops, you can try to start an investigation or whatever, but those take a lot of time, and typically those people are either anonymous or in countries where you can't get to them anyway and nothing ever happens. Like this, the fastest way to stop the scam is to stop the spread.
% of jackers, and they want to deliver your own personal golden encrusted flashlight. They just need you to fill out all your personal information.
A gold encrusted flashlight? Is that really what they're using to bait people? The fuck is wrong with this community?
They were probably lying to you, but you'd think people would rejoice at such a positive thing Nux had done. Yes, people did initially praise him for this video, and vShojo also thanked him, and one of the perpetrators allegedly had their information turned over to the police, but the positive acclamations for Nux quickly turned when many of the vShojo VTubers publicly criticised Nux for making a video on the topic with allegations levied against him of being a clout chaser and potentially putting them in danger.
I don't consider clout chasing to be an allegation. It's the fucking internet. This is the drama sphere. This is the social media era of YouTube, where the only way to get ahead, like you can't just stand out as a personality anymore. Like what happened to Boogie to make him what he is wouldn't happen now. Like he was just right place, right time on YouTube. You have to do more than just post videos. YouTube is the likelihood that YouTube and one of your videos is going to go viral with zero promotion is extremely small. Now, good videos can go viral with no promotion, and YouTube will show, as long as videos are getting views, it doesn't matter how big the creator is, YouTube will promote it. But you should really be doing more than that. And clout chasing, I don't consider to be a bad thing. It's just how this industry works at this point. It's like Hollywood. It's not, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's the thing, and YouTube has kind of turned into that. If the fastest way to grow on the platform is to collab with a creator that's bigger than you, tap into his audience, and then build something of your own and pay it forward, and let somebody smaller than you tap into your audience, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so clout chasing, you can hate on it if you want. I don't consider it to be a bad thing at all. Sorry, I just don't. I mean, unless you're just like completely being fake in order to do it, like iDubbbz is doing with Hassan, or most of Hassan's like orbiters are, where they just have to kiss this one guy's ass because their entire career depends on his community liking them. Like if you're doing that, like if you're just being a yes man, okay, sure, that's a different accusation though. Being a yes man is bad. Being a clout chaser, not so much, as long as you're still being you. You're just collabing. Nothing wrong with that.
With the fact that many of the vShojo team had apparently told him not to make the video, but he did so anyway, and many of them just wanted the video removed, in which it was 3 days later. Now it's important to note that within the video, none of the vShojo members were mentioned directly. The only other VTuber mentioned in the video was Saki, who was the victim that got swatted, and in fact responded positively to the video being made. So the only way this would put vShojo...
I mean, so far, all of the controversies you've covered and said he's in sound like nothing burgers. I mean, that's gonna happen no matter what. Like, the bigger you are as a creator, you're always, the chances of you getting some haters who are just gonna hate everything you do because they hate you. So they're working backwards. Like, they've concluded that they hate you, and now they're gonna work backwards to find the reason why. So, yeah, they're not actually, like, they're all just approaching you in bad faith, and they're there to poison the well. I mean, people do it to Mr. Beast to this day. He cures people's blindness. He can do all the charity he wants, and people will find a way to make all of it bad no matter what. So, like, the guy just can't fucking win. You just have to ignore those people, and it sounds like that's probably his only mistake that I would say he's made so far, is that he just doesn't ignore them. And the more you fan those flames, the bigger the drama gets. When 9 times out of 10, you're best off to just ignore that shit. Like, unless it's something super serious, just ignore it.
Shoujo talent in danger would be inspiring other people to do the same. But vShoujo knew about it. Even one of the members was in the Discord with the cybersecurity team and Nux. And once again, they thanked him and even provided an official statement at the end of the video. But it appears the vShoujo talent were not informed about this at all. Hence why a lot of them were denouncing Nux's video. And to make things worse, vShoujo management deleted their thank you to Nux and then went with a narrative that they always told him never to make the video.
And this is the part where he leaves that group because obviously they're being, they're being disingenuous and they're lying. When they start changing their story, it's clear that they will throw you under the bus. They've shown their true colors, and now you should leave that group because they're toxic. They're not good for you as a creator. You're better off on your own.
And everyone proceeded to pile on Nux. Now, if you've been stun-locked, it's no surprise all of this is very confusing, but to break this down for you like SpaghettiOs, this is basically a tale of poor communication, where the vShoujo members were not told beforehand about this, except for the one vShoujo member that was in the group apparently. The vShoujo team thought they communicated directly to Nux that they didn't want this video to be made, with only 2 instances, one before he even started the video, and 2 when they were actively helping him with the video, where they didn't tell him directly to not make the video, and even thanked him for it. But when
if you're helping him with it and then thank him for it, it's how is he supposed to know you didn't want him to make it? Like, your actions don't match your words. And if that's how the company or the group or whatever this is, management team that you're supposed to be working with, that's supposed to be helping you, is going to act the minute there's some controversy, don't work with them anymore. Like, that's it, I'm out. That's how I'd respond.
When the vShoujo talent had problems with it, they then withdrew their thanks, and once again reinstated their stance they never wanted him to make this video, despite once again being informed and having some part in it.
Why do they do this too? Like, it's so easy to disprove this shit. It's like the cancel culture people will turn on Eat Their Own when and try to rewrite fucking reality. They try to rewrite history when it's so easy to disprove. That's why no one takes this woke cancel culture shit seriously, because you guys are like, if you just leave them alone, they'll fight amongst themselves. Like, you gotta stop purity testing, grow a fucking backbone, know what's worth fighting for and what's not. Is it so hard to be honest? I don't understand. Make it make sense.
They also expressed concerns about the one person he called a fan, who was the one that told him they were leaking the fake information, that they were a part of the attack and could be feeding him misinformation. That is the bare bones of what happened, and Nux was facing a mountain of backlash for it, even though his heart was in the right place and he did inform the group. I just wanted to bring light to this situation to prevent any further victims. He kind of just got thrown under the bus due to an apparent miscommunication with him and the cybersecurity and management team of vShoujo. But when the dust settled, Nux just wanted to move on, and all parties apologised, including the vShoujo vTubers. But for his first major controversy, he received a lot of backlash for this, even though, once again, his heart was in the right place.
Yeah, it's kind of a nothing
And the real
burger.
problem was the people doxing and swatting people. But the next one is something I've spoken about before, so I'll give you the cliff notes. But it's one that Nux regards as his biggest mistake, and one that took around 2 years to somewhat conclude.
And I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation.
What did you do,
Fellow
Chief?
VTuber by the name of Tiger had a document created about them alleging they were a predator. The document was produced by individuals that were previous mods and stalkers of Tiger, and in 2022, Nux made a video with Moist Critical going over VTuber drama. Moist didn't know about a lot of these VTubers or dramas, and the
Yep, he's a normie, like myself. Somebody'd have to educate me on this. And the bad part about getting educated from a VTuber about the VTuber community is that you got to take whatever information you're going to get from that with a grain of salt, because they're going to be inherently biased. You know, they're actively involved in it. There's a conflict of interest there.
The video was essentially Nux giving a tour through the many controversies of the VTuber community and explaining them. However, he does eventually get to Tiger and says he doesn't know much about the situation, but then continues to convey the message they were a predator. And with someone like Moist Critical in the video, a lot of people saw it.
Money.
Is this HoloLive?
No, Tyga is an indie streamer. who, I don't know the whole story, but Tyga was outed to be a pedophile.
Now, Tyga was
So the way, yeah, if that's the way you're going to present it, it sounds like it's a pretty definitive. I don't know the whole story that led to her being outed, but it sounds like the part that mattered is the part that you confirmed to be true, which is that they're a predator, and you don't know that for sure. Yeah, so, okay, that's a knock against you.
was exonerated from these claims a few months later, and Nux did pin a comment regarding the Tyga situation under the video. And
Not good enough. I'm hoping he made a video or some kind of retraction later. I'm sorry, if you fuck up in a video, you can't then pull a Carl Jobs and add a fucking retraction as a pinned comment under the video and say good enough. Because as we saw during the Carl Jobs case, that judge didn't think it was good enough. So you can best believe your ass that the court of public opinion isn't going to think it's good enough either. And no, tacking your apology or explanation on to the last 2 minutes of an unrelated video like Carl did also isn't good enough. You have to make a separate video.
he even removed that part in the video. He also apologized privately to Tyga for this, but many thought the damage was already done.
It
6
was.
months later, Nux brings up the situation on his podcast, once again saying he messed up, and he was going off the information what other people told him, and that once again he had privately apologized for this.
Like, I alleged it also because a friend told me, and I regret it because he, you know, I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Tyga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that.
Yeah, but you made the allegations publicly, so your apology should also be public. That's why you have to make the video. The response doesn't match, you know, what you did in the first place. Like, you've got to match that energy. That's the only way to make it right.
And, like, because a friend told me.
Now, you would think this is where it would end. Nux somewhat apologized and learned his lesson that, you know, you should verify information before voicing it, especially
Can't believe that's a lesson you have to learn at his age, but okay.
when it's a serious allegation, which he did do again around the same time against another YouTuber and vTuber called.
So he did this more than once? This is like a pattern of behavior with these cancel culture, you know, super woke types, is that I think I've even heard one of them quoted as like, allegations are evidence. No, they're not. Like, these people like will take any allegation and run with it with zero proof whatsoever. Like, that is a pattern of behavior that just needs to stop in general. I see it so much on Twitter and social media where somebody makes an allegation and then you'll see a bunch of people parroting that allegation and going, yeah, well, he's a predator. I mean, it was like the fucking debate I had with the Snarker, the H3 Snarker the other night. Just rolling with every narrative they heard on H3 Snark. And the minute I asked for some kind of substantial proof to all the claims and opinions they had, and yeah, because he loved hiding behind the, well, I mean, it's an opinion. I'm like, okay, well, you can't, your opinion isn't fact. Like, we shouldn't be running with opinions here. I need to see something. And 3-hour-long debate, the guy could show me nothing. Like, it was pathetic. Like, yeah, like, that's what these people do. They just run with it because give me a reason to attack the person that I don't like. If you make an allegation against a person that they don't like or they want to see their career ruined, they run with it. They'll take any excuse that they can get. So he's establishing a pattern of that behavior right now. Let's see if he actually learned from it.
Called Rev, where they got into a whole kerfuffle and made a video, which was removed recently, with a weird comment from Nux where if he was to do a video on Rev, with his influence and podcast, YouTube would probably take his channel down.
If I make a video roasting this dude on my main channel, YouTube will literally deplatform him.
Why? Are you saying that YouTube's going to cancel him and take you at face value?
Like, YouTube actually watches my stuff, especially ever
Yep,
since
that's
I've
what
been
he's
on
saying.
the Some Ordinary podcast. YouTube has really been paying attention to.
It's the smallest amount of clout I've ever seen go to someone's head. I mean, you're a big YouTuber, a couple million, but I don't think that you have that kind of influence over the platform itself that you can say someone's name and get them banned. This isn't Twitch. You're not Hassan. YouTube doesn't work like that. I know it may seem that way sometimes, but it really doesn't.
Like what we've been saying, and I'll be honest, if I would make a video on him on the main channel, I do think he'd get taken down for either bullying or the whole weird pedo stuff.
But a few months later, he would claim YouTube are actively suppressing him, which just contradicts his past claim, but he did apologize for this around 2 years later.
Yeah. only in extreme cases will I ever like claim that YouTube plays favorites like Twitch does. I think maybe YouTube will give some leeway to someone as big as like Mr. Beast, but you've got to reach like Mr. Beast levels. The little 1 and 2 million subscriber YouTube channels, I mean, those are big channels, but they're not big enough for YouTube to risk their business over. Like they're to them it's a job. They're just gonna go business as usual. So the same platform rules that apply to them apply to you. They didn't give you any special treatment, and they're not going to go after anybody because you said so. If you bring attention to something that does exist, they may act on it, but they're not going to do it just because you said so. It may just cause them to look into it. And it sounds like if they're suppressing you, then you were doing something too. So, I mean, you weren't exempt from those rules. You're not special.
And some of the stuff that I said in my old stream that I foolishly uploaded on Nuxanor. And yeah, I was definitely out of pocket when I talked about Rev like 2-3 years ago, whenever the fuck that was.
But with the Tiger situation, it wasn't done yet, as Tiger thought it wasn't a good apology, because Nux claimed privately they would publicly clear the slate regarding Tiger, possibly with another video with Moist Critical. But the video or cleaning of the public slate never came.
This guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that.
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie, I was planning on it. I'll try to clear the record more publicly. I'll also do more research. Again, I don't know right now. However, I'll try to rectify any extra damage.
It's still so weird to look up and hear that voice and then see a face I don't think matches it. It's just so weird. I don't understand VTubing at all. Jesus. Like, I'm just staring at cartoons flapping their gums while a person talks about something that... Yeah. The worst parts is when, like, these VTubers have, like, crash outs and start crying or something. Because I saw one of, like, a girl talking about a drama and she starts crying and the way she was treated. Meanwhile, she's got this big-titted fucking jiggly avatar just bouncing around. I could not take that shit seriously at all. I know they were serious allegations and she's crying and it's a real thing, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it is so unserious to watch.
Damage I caused, and hope you can accept my apology. This was in December 22nd, 2022. 2022! He said he was going to make a sequel video with Moist Critical. Video never came.
Now moving to 2024, Nux was still getting backlash for this mistake. People wanted him to take full accountability for this, with not just a pinned comment, not just a small segment on his podcast, and not just a private DM. And in 2024, he did apologize, saying it was the biggest fuck-up of his career, in a video where he goes over the unjust banning of VTubers on YouTube, and mentions Tiger, who was also banned on the platform. He does apologize for the situation, but adds he wasn't to blame for Tiger's deplatforming.
And I made a huge fuck up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taiga's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future.
Now, he apologized again. It should all go away now, right? Not really. Many viewed his apology as disingenuous, due to the fact he made comments around the same time, previously contradicting the private apology, comments on the podcast, and pinned comment. So a lot of people thought all of his apologies he'd made were just disingenuous anyway.
Yeah, and that's the problem. If you get caught fucking up on one of them, like if you make one bad apology and you've had multiple, controversies like he has, then that suddenly invalidates all your other apologies. This is why, like, I don't think you should jump to apologize. Like, unless you're caught red-handed and there's so much proof against you, and you, like, just don't. I would never apologize for an allegation or something like that. Like, unless I feel I have actually done something wrong and I need, to correct my behavior. If I don't think I did anything wrong and I'm just being accused of something and I think it's being overblown or bullshit, I'm not fucking apologizing. Because you apologize too much like this, like there's no pleasing these people. You apologize and you give them what they want and you apologize, and then your apology isn't good enough and they hate you for that. Or you apologize too much and then it makes the apologies invalid. Like the goalposts will always be moved. They'll always want more. So don't feed them at all. Fuck them. Like, unless I'm caught red-handed and like actual action has to be taken against me and the apology is needed for me to like get unbanned or something, You know, like if I get banned from, you know, YouTube or something, and then they're like, well, if you issue an apology, you know, YouTube tells me you issue an apology and then we can correct this behavior, then we'll give you a second chance. Like if it's for that reason, sure, I'll apologize. If I actually did something wrong and that, you know, I was out and I needed to in order to, you know, regain access to my platform and my revenue. But just because the Twitter mob is yelling for me to apologize, not gonna fucking happen.
Bro. Right. I thought you cared about, stood up for small creators. I do. Especially when the small creators don't have sussy interactions in regards to minors.
And still to this day, this situation is levied against him. Now, Nux, contrary to popular belief, wasn't to blame directly for Tiger's deplatforming, but he was to blame for the spread of allegations at the time and how he dealt with the situation, often apologizing, then going back on his word, then apologizing again. He all around did not deal with this situation very well, and it did have an effect on his reputation, something the next controversy only a month later would also do, and would receive 10 times more attention than any of his past controversies with the most lukewarm scenario. And that is the Jaden Animations situation. Now most people know who Jaden Animations is. She makes animated videos.
Yeah, I think I remember Turkey Tom covering this on his channel. I can't remember much about the drama itself, but I think I watched Turkey Tom's video. I didn't watch it on stream. I think I listened to it like a podcast at work. But I just remember getting my window into this VTuber kind of community and going, Jesus Christ, and just shaking my head at these people. Like, so many nothing burger dramas and just high school bullshit in this community in general.
Videos, mainly storytime videos, and even herself later became a VTuber. But this whole controversy boils down to Nux that had just changed his type of content to mainly just reaction-based content, which many popular content creators do, like Asmongold and Pyrocynical.
And me! I'm not popular. Yet. You can help me get there by hitting the like button and subscribing and sharing this video with your friends. Do it. Help a brother out.
The mounting ugly. And overall, what? But people had a problem with Nux due to the fact he started reacting to Jaden, and he would take the title or situation and involve himself in it. With a title like,
oh yeah, that's a bad reaction then. Like, you should be fly on the wall kind of reaction. Just an observer. Never involve yourself. I have a strict don't touch the poo rule. I will react to dramas, but I'm not going to interact with the people involved in them. I'm not going to insert myself into it. It doesn't involve me. I'm just here to, you know, to just watch and break it down and give my take on it. Maybe my take helps somebody. Maybe they look at it and they go, oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. Or maybe I'm just here to entertain. Or maybe somebody watches my video and they didn't know anything about the drama and they're glad that I was able to summarize it and break it down for them. There's a lot of reasons you can watch a React streamer. But the reactors shouldn't be getting themselves involved with the thing they're reacting to.
me and Jaden had a good 10 years on YouTube. Or Jaden Animations talks to me about dating. Or me and Jaden forgot to file our taxes and the IRS found us. Stuff like that.
We? Who's we? There is no we.
It made it look like...
Yep, because that's how it usually goes when you insert yourself. We? I mean, we. God, Breaking Bad has got to be like the most clipped show used in the drama community, or in YouTube videos in general. So many good moments in that show.
they were doing a collab of sorts, even though I don't think there's any recorded event of them interacting. But people were not happy with this, and a whole bunch of hate was sent to Nux, especially with the perceived reputation he already had. Someone made a fake response from Jaden, which many believed, essentially telling him to fuck off. Someone made a Google Chrome extension which adds him to every YouTube video, and someone ratioed Mr. Beast with a meme and he took credit for it. People made a Teen Titans Go reference with it, which was "and Bumblebee," which he assumed meant it was just kids making fun of him.
I'm
Probably.
getting canceled.
I don't know. It's hard to tell with this community. So many of them watch kid shows. I feel like once you get into the VTuber space, the VTuber furry space, you're tapping dangerously close to that, you know, to the bronies and the people who get off to children's shows. Dangerously close to it.
By Teen Titans Go children. I'm being canceled by toddlers. It's amazing.
Even though Teen Titans Go, yes, it is a bad sequel to Teen Titans, but it is pretty old now, and I think it aired quite a while ago when I was a toddler. But people that didn't know who Nux was before this just thought he was the Jaden Animations guy now, which I don't know if it's good PR or bad PR. But to be honest, he was just doing what every other React channel does, albeit changing the title slightly. I don't know why he chose Jaden, he wasn't framing any other titles like this, and he had already been doing it as far back as 2 years ago. But it was
Yeah, was she like super clickbaity or something? Like, I'm trying to figure out like why choose this chick. Was her name like on trending? Because a lot of people do that. I don't do that. I only cover the dramas that interest me and stuff that I'm genuinely curious about. But a lot of React streamers and stuff, they'll pull up the trending tab on YouTube. They'll, you know, search for trending drama or trending creators and then try to find something of theirs to react to just so they can have them in a thumbnail. Try to invent drama or just something worth reacting to. So they go to trending, they see a creator that they think they can safely react to and not get claimed for, and then they go, okay, well, there's got to be one video here that's worth reacting to. What kind of stuff is this guy involved in? If he's not involved in any drama, then they'll just like overblow something simple to make it seem like drama, so they have an excuse to react to that creator and put his face in a thumbnail, you know, or their name or whatever it may be.
It was just reaction videos, which many people watch, so they don't feel alone watching YouTube in their dark, dingy basement.
I don't think that's a lot of people watch. There's a lot of reasons to watch reaction content other than just you don't want to feel like you're alone. I'll grant it, the parasocial and community aspect to it is a big part of it, but I would argue that React channels and commentary channels add a lot of added context. They can add perspective, and most importantly, they can also act as internet archive channels because they can react to something, and then if the thing they reacted to gets deleted as the drama escalates and other people want to get caught up on it or are curious about it, well, then they can still get caught up on it. That video still exists. You have archived it. They act as both commentary and archive channels, in my personal opinion.
But anyway, now the last controversy, yes, we're almost there. I know I've taken up a majority of your time, but let's be honest, that time playing War Thunder or Dead by Daylight wouldn't have been time well spent, now would it?
I'm playing Oblivion, and it is time well spent, you dick.
So shut up. But the last one, and probably the most impactful, was basically surrounding Lolly. Now the topic of Lolly has been debated for years now, especially within the anime community. On one side you have people that argue Lolly.
I can't believe this is even debatable. It should be a simple equation. If we were to cast this character in a live action movie, how old would the person be played by it? And if the answer is a child and they're doing something sexual, that should make you feel weird. It's pretty simple. Would you cast a child to play this character on TV and act the way they're acting in the show? If the answer is yes and it's sexual, that's a huge red flag. Like, there you go. It should be that. Yeah, I know it's like I'm talking to the video. You dick, video resumes, so shut up. Yeah, it was good timing. No, it's that simple. If we're going to do a live action adaptation of this anime and this girl is parading around acting sexual and flirting with guys and doing all sorts of sexual shit like some of these Lolicon stuff do, and then you cast a girl in real life who looks like her and is that age and it's like a fucking 10-year-old, yeah, that should be a huge red flag for you. Like, I don't understand why this is a debate. And don't give me the, well, actually that character is a 400-year-old vampire or demon or some shit, and be like, yeah, but the actress that would play it in real life would still be 10, so shut the fuck up.
Characters in anime or VTubing is only an aesthetic thing focused on characters that are small or have a specific body type. A key example used by this side is Rebecca from Cyberpunk, which was a whole different controversy back then, but she did get absolutely balled on in the anime. And on the other side, people say they are depictions of children, and if you sexualize them, you are a predator, with the example some anime characters seen in.
Okay, especially if they're listed as 13 in the anime, then you'd have to cast a 13-year-old to play them. If they're doing sexual stuff and the anime outright tells you it's a 13-year-old, I don't understand what the debate is here. This should be pretty obviously wrong.
In that light are underage. But how does this relate to Nux? Well, Nux was heavily against Lolly publicly, saying along the lines, if you like Lolly or sexualize it, you are a predator. However...
Agreed. He's not wrong. Base take from fucks Nuxtaku, whatever. I don't keep up with this shit.
And many took a look back at Nux's history with some of the content and thumbnails, some of which have been deleted and changed over the years. Many.
So you're outspoken against Lolicon and admit you know what it is and why it's wrong, but then we're actively using it in your thumbnails for clickbait? That's a bad look, bro. Yeah, I can't defend you on that one, man. What the fuck?
He cited he had straight up involved Lolly sexually in his thumbnails or suggested such themes in his content. Even at one point he had a series where he would straight up show anime porn to other influencers.
What? I mean, maybe it wasn't lolicon porn, maybe it was regular porn, but what? So you have a series where you just watch anime? Dude, I don't understand hentai. I don't understand this anime crap. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why do you feel the need to watch it like in a watch party? At no point have I ever been jerking off and thought, man, this hub video is so good, I gotta watch it with my friends. That's never fucking happened to me, ever. What the fuck, man?
To get that reaction.
He has the same facial expression as Tom, bro. Whoever made this needs to be in jail.
What were we doing back then in those days of content? Jesus. Even showed hentai.
Look, COVID was a weird time. You had a lot of bored people looking for just anything to entertain, and a lot of people made some pretty bad decisions. Just saying, it was a weird time. Doesn't excuse it, but I don't think that those people would do that again now. I'm just saying, like, people made some dumb decisions back then, just in the name of, oh my god, help me kill the boredom.
That was considered lolly to his fellow co-host Mudaha.
This is a hentai? First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine, okay, it's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with the hug, yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
But he was mainly being called out for being a hypocrite due to the thumbnails and the videos. What made things significantly worse at the time was the Ava Chris Tyson allegations, where Ava was a supportive.
We did cover those on my channel, where yes, it's pretty cut and dry and pretty obvious that Mr. Beast, friend, BFF, whatever, Ava Chris Tyson, was a super fan of Lolicon to the point of getting custom Lolicon art commissioned for them and then displaying it proudly in their living room.
Shadman, an infamous character online that drew NSFW art, and more notably drew NSFW art of Keemstar's daughter at the time.
And also, yeah, like he had a habit of drawing art of Keemstar's daughter. Was probably the worst of it. She was like 8 at the time, and he drew her basically getting railed. But he also drew sexualized art of other real people who were underage at the time. Like the girl from Logan, Daphne Keem. Yeah, so like this dude was unapologetically into children, and more importantly, drawn children, drawn CP. I was trying to think of a nice way to say that. Drawn cheese pizza. Yeah, he was very notably into that and proud of it. He's fucking disgusting. I'm glad he's gone.
Who was underage, which everyone viewed as fucking disgusting. But after the whole Ava Chris Tyson story, a post was made showing all the creators that associate with or endorse Shadman, and Nux was listed, where he previously included Shadman's art in his thumbnails, which he did change a few days after the video was released.
So you didn't just use Lolicon, you got them commissioned for the channel by Shadman? Dude. Yeah, that kind of makes you wonder if, like, you actually enjoy the Lolicon stuff and you're just pretending to hate it because you don't want the backlash. Fuck, you can't have your cake and eat it too, man. You can't appeal to that audience and then also condemn them. Like, that's not how that works, man. That's not how that works.
A few years ago.
Remember the video that I talked about that had a Shadman art in the thumbnail and I changed it? And people kept saying that, no, I don't believe you that you changed the thumbnail back 3 years ago. You probably just changed it right now. Game of Thrones memes are fucked up. Last update.
Does he not know the Wayback Machine exists? Like, people can just pull up that video on the Wayback Machine to see the thumbnail it had a month ago. And if the a month ago it didn't, it was still the lolicon, then you can't be like, no, I changed it 3 years ago. I don't understand why people tell so obvious to just prove lies, especially people with large audiences.
Thumbnail 11/24/2020. This
He asked him for a collaboration where Nux's excuse was he was going
Okay, well, he did prove he changed it, but that doesn't, I'd argue changing it isn't as important as the fact that you used it at all. That would be my argument there.
to make fun of him.
people are making this as some sort of
If the video is archived in the Wayback Machine. Yeah, well, there are archive sites specifically for big YouTubers and stuff like, fuck, what was the other one? Something tube, archive tube or something like that. Yeah, but there's sites specifically just for archiving YouTube videos.
I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster, which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. I troll, confront people when I collab the same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on LOLCow, and if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons.
And at one point he even had direct contact with Shadman, where multiple videos resurfaced of him talking about the DMs.
I'm trying to make his. Yes, I did get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while, back in the day, rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, I'd have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. Man.
Yeah, but you still used his art and commissioned it. Like, making fun of him publicly and then still paying for his stuff and commissioning him to do your thumbnails, that just looks like you're trying to save face. And the more you talk about this, the worse you're making it. Just shut the fuck up. Just remove the thumbnails. You can issue one statement if you really need to. I'd argue you don't. Just, you could play the dumb card, because that's what some people did, where it'd be like, I didn't realize that this was like, oh, I didn't realize Shadman was doing this. Yeah, you can act, you can play stupid, or you can just say nothing. I'd say just say nothing is better than what you're doing now. Just remove the thumbnail, never do it again, and move on, and don't address it. And then the allegations will die off. People will speculate, sure, but without a response from you, they've got nothing to go on, and they'll leave you alone. That they're like, this could have been blown under the rug. How hard would it be to post the DMs if they're not bad? I mean, posting DMs is easy. Somebody just taking a screenshot of the DMs. Somebody would have to be in those DMs and then they take a screenshot of it. So, if they're like bad content-wise, then you'd have to obviously blur the bad content, and then just, if you were doing a video on it, you would blur that bad content, and then you would explain why the content's blurred and what it is and why you can't show it, so people don't think you're trying to hide things. I mean, posting his own? Oh, it wouldn't be hard to post his own, which is, like, should be a red flag. If somebody's doing videos like this to disavow something and saying they didn't know or doing that kind of stuff. See, this is why it's better to say nothing, especially if you've got nothing to show, because he's got nothing to show. I guarantee his DMs would be questionable at best and at worst incriminating, which is why he doesn't show them.
That's a weird, yeah. And,
that's a way to start a sentence.
That's a way to start a sentence. And he has some interesting takes on Gardevoir.
Right, they open the door by saying he's got the DMs. Yeah, like at that point, like it's either, because you end up in the same position as like, and this is proof that that works, because you end up in the same position as Dr. Disrespect when he got caught sexting with that minor in Twitch Whispers, and he admitted to it, and then decided he didn't want to go with that narrative, and he deleted the admission off Twitter, and then tried to pretend like everything was above board, that those messages weren't that bad. So everyone kept screaming at him, show the messages, show the messages. And he's proof that if you just stop responding, it'll go away. Because he did one response, and he was like, show the messages, and we reacted to it on stream. It's a video on my channel. You should go watch it. It's hilarious. But like after that, he just stopped talking about it, and he just went on business as usual. He took his little break from YouTube. He did his big comeback stream. He got a little shit from people at first, but his core community didn't leave, and drama channels stopped covering him because it turned out no one really cared. That the people who really cared couldn't outweigh the number of fans he had, and when you've got millions of fans, yeah, you can just shut the fuck up. Especially if you got nothing to show, because Dr. Disrespect, could have shown those messages. He absolutely could have if he were really innocent. And the longer he went without, the more he talked about it and didn't show them, the more guilty he looked. And as soon as he realized that, he just shut up. He never showed the messages, and he never talked about it again. And now he's back to business as usual. YouTube even remonetized him. So there you go.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Yeah, they're weird. Dude, honestly, It was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, through DMs. I didn't speak to him, like, voice, but it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had.
And even one video where he says he doesn't want to get him in trouble.
Shadman once, it was the weirdest interaction of my life. Like, that dude... Let me actually open up the DMs. Let me see if I can find anything funny he said. Oh my god, I can't even read you most of this. I can't even, oh my god, I literally can't read any of this to you.
Yeah, so now he acts like they're so bad he can't read them. Well, there's plenty of other places you can post them. You don't have to put them in your YouTube video. If they're that bad and you need to post them in order to save your, you know, in order to save your reputation and save face, you could post them up on Twitter, you could post them up on Discord. Like, there's a number of places where you could post them publicly for people to see without putting them in the YouTube video because you're scared of demonetization. So none of these excuses hold water to me. Like these all sound bad. This all just sounds like him trying to save face.
I really want to show them to you, but I don't want to, like, show you anything that I can't reveal. Like, I don't want to actually get him in trouble. It's just like, yeah.
But Nux clarifies he never knew about the Keemstar Shadman thing. Now, it's been unclear if Nux was ever going to actually roast Shadman if he did a video with him, or if he truly didn't know about what Shadman was doing. But the fact he had direct contact with someone like Shadman, many still viewed as incriminating, even though in his own words he was just...
Yeah, like if you're continuing to have direct contact with this guy after he's been exposed for all this stuff, and he's, yeah, like it's pretty obvious that this guy is a predator and a cheese pizza enjoyer. Like, if you continue to associate with him, well, you're going to end up being guilty by association. Like, you have to disavow. Like, at that point, once it's that public, you have to disavow. Sorry, you just do.
Just making fun of him. In his response, he also said he regrets a lot of his previous content and the involvement of Lolly in them. And he has always been against Lolly.
It wasn't a review of LollyCon. That's obviously bad faith. Probably one of the most bad faith ways to twist what actually happened I've ever heard. Now, I have said in the past, and I'll say it again, I do regret making a lot of those old videos. I have literally always been against the Lolly. I made old videos where I found, like, crazy hentai, and I showed them to people for shock value. These hentai videos are on YouTube.
For shock value. You can just link it. Like, I'm sorry. That's not shocking video. That's gooner video. It's not like you're showing like some of the early like internet shock value stuff like Goatsy or, you know, people getting beheaded or that kind of stuff. You know, those shock videos like Lively kind of things. Yeah, those were shock videos back in the day. This just gooner material. People know what hentai is, dude. This is fooling no one. Oh my god. That dude is trying to backpedal like it's an Olympic sport. I know, right? Like, and people know what this is. It's obvious. Just fucking own it and move on.
Also, and I reacted to a YouTube video being like, this is crazy that this came out of Japan and is literally on YouTube. So anyway, it was a little wild. I invited a lot of people to the call. Obviously, no one thought it was weird. People had eyeballs. I mean, everyone thought that the content was weird.
A lot of this controversy just boils down to Nux saying he hated something, but he was involving it in his content and was actively showing it to people, and he also shouldn't have had ties with someone making terrible NSFW art, even if he was going to make fun of him. Now, this is where the controversy stood for some time, but then the post-Nux clarity hit for Mudahar.
Oh, that's a good, that's pretty good. The post-Nux clarity for Nux Taku. Banger title.
A few months later, which, to give him credit, is a good title. But Mudahar made a video basically saying he was distancing himself from Nux due to some feedback he got from Reddit.
But to go back to it, Nux Taku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship, and I really can't, like, again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content.
He said they had no more business relations and they were no longer friends due to things like the Tiger situation, the Shadman situation, and the Lolly involvement, which he had some part in and showed remorse for it.
Yeah, if I remember right, Mudahar wasn't like, he's not just criticizing here, like he's not, again, this is why I have the rule, don't touch the poo, because he was one of the guys in that Discord enjoying this content with him. Like, you were actively involved with it, don't try to disavow now. And I think he gets called out on that. Like, I remember the Mudahar thing. I didn't know this side of it, but I remember the Mudahar thing, and I was like, yeah. And when it came time to disavow because you got caught interacting with these lolicon enjoyers, you doubled down and had their back. So you're guilty by association. Mudahar probably also enjoys the Law League. Probably. Thanks, Joey.
But in this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all of
Thanks for the dono, Joey. Welcome to the stream, man. Appreciate it.
this, right? This wasn't us sitting together watching Loli, just on like the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it. But we should have. It really did blindside me. There was a bias.
Really? No one thought about it. You're watching this stuff from this guy, and none of that crossed your mind. This all just seemed innocent, and you were completely blindsided and oblivious. Weaponized ignorance is what you're witnessing here, guys. Just playing dumb to save face.
Call it, friendship bias, call it, there was other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as
willingly. You were doing it willingly.
An excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and if any way contributed to normalizing it.
And he went on to say he didn't know about Nux's content, and he was naive to some of the things he took part in.
Wait, you should have more in those videos?
But in this video, he was basically taking accountability for his involvement, but then deleted the video, citing he was overreacting, and he apologized to Nux, and they are.
Yep, and then he backpedaled on that and doubled down with his lolicon friend. Yeah, you're knee deep in Gooner country, man. You're not watching them anymore. You're one of them, and that became obvious.
Are still friends.
Muda deleted his video, posted a community post, and then called me, and apologized.
Many thought this was disingenuous of Mudahar taking accountability, then walking it back, and he did receive a lot of flack for this, many citing that wearing the Christian medallion was giving off some gamma radiation and probably skewed his judgment due to this. And many said he was just throwing Nux under the bus, who was supposedly his friend, so he didn't have to deal with the Reddit hate. Mudahar probably should have thought a lot more about this before making the video, but the two of them made up anyway apparently. But the fallout of this video was a lot of the previous stuff being brought up again against Nux, and other people like Chud Logic were affected when they were told contradicting things by Mudahar and reported on it.
My boots have been pissed on, and I've been told that it's raining, right? It is 100% without question.
Yeah, you pee on my leg and try to convince me it's raining. Chud! It's Chud Logic! Of course he covered this.
That Mudahar did say to me, okay, he did say to me that it was ending because of Nuxtaku and the Shaman connection, and then later changed that.
But overall, a lot of content creators before the post Nux Clarity video and after did start to distance themselves from Nux.
I love me some chaos now and again, but it was a pretty rough moment there.
So in conclusion, does Nux deserve the reputation of the most hated VTuber? Looking at all the controversies, he tried to do the right thing with the V-Shoujo situation, and the Jaden Animations thing was just kind of a joke, but due to his own actions like contradicting himself at times or going back on what he says and taking no accountability, except for sometimes years later, it has led to a...
I don't know, man. I mean, most hated? Probably not. I mean, from stuff I've heard of other VTubers that like Turkey Tom's covered, there's some actual PDF files in there, some actual predators, not people who just looked at or commissioned art. Like there's probably way worse actors, but it's just the way he handled it. That's why he stood out. Honestly, like his would have went away if he would have just shut up. Like there's so many points in that where all he had to do was shut up. And the more he doubled down, the more he tried to explain himself, the worse it got for him. Like all he had to do was shut the fuck up.
A lot of people hating him, so yes, he does somewhat deserve that title, mostly
Somewhat.
due to his past controversies and the public perception of him. But in the present, I predict we probably won't see any more dramas from Nux. I'm probably wrong. Nowadays, dude is just reacting to politics and Adventure Time, and yes...
Yeah, jumping on the politics train. So I see what he's trying to do here. So you've pretty much just like soiled your reputation with that audience, and the best way to continue your online career as a content creator in the YouTube space is to just jump ship to a different genre and attract a new audience, because there's probably not going to be a whole lot of overlap between like VTubers and you know, lolicon enjoyers, or, you know, hentai and anime watchers and hardcore political guys, depending on which political side you're on and like what kind of politics you cover. It's probably some crossover if you start going into the like the super activist fucking side of it, as opposed to just covering MAGA shit or covering Democrat shit, you know, normal people topics. Like if you go, the more fringe you go, the more likely you are to have crossover. But yeah, that's it. You just jump ship to another genre. That's what he's attempting to do here. Doing it as a VTuber though, I'm not sure that that's going to take as well. People who watch politics can't take the politics seriously with the fucking cartoon on their screen, but sure, man, do your thing. Yeah, it's a hard pivot to pull off without just doing a face cam or doing no cam at all. Like, this is, leaving the VTuber thing up is wild.
He does get a lot of hate.
You imagine somebody doing like some political commentary, diving deep into the Trump administration, or diving deep into Israel or Palestine or whatever trending topic is, and on screen, that's what you got on screen right there. How the fuck are you supposed to take any of this shit seriously, man?
Hate for his political takes, but I'm in no way political or have any knowledge on politics. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and bye-bye.
Alright, well there we go. Is Nuxtaku the most hated? I'd argue not. I think I've heard of other, like... Wasn't there a VTuber who actually had, like, sex with animals or some other degenerate fucking shit? I don't know, man. These people are fucking weird. Especially the ones who are, like, terminally online in Discord and just watch this shit for, you know, hours upon hours a day. Yeah, my God, they're the worst of the worst kind of people. Yeah, I don't know if he deserves to be the most hated, but the hard pivot to politics as a VTuber is weird. I kind of thought he'd do gaming or pivot away from anime and go cover some other fandom, cover Marvel movies, cover more pop culture stuff that's still adjacent to what you're into, but will attract normies and not like weebs. So you start covering comic books and Marvel and DC stuff, you're going to get some crossover, but you're also going to attract a lot of normal people. Normal people who would be willing to excuse the fact that you're an animated avatar on a screen, because obviously it's at least somewhat related to the content. It's a content about comic books, which are just cartoons, and you're also a cartoon. Even though a lot of the Marvel movies are live action now, still, that's their basis. Like, you're going to attract that fandom. I don't know. It's weird. Weird. I thought he'd dive more into the Mudahar side of things, but yeah, we'll cover the Mudahar stuff tomorrow because he's recently made a comeback. Because basically what happened with Mudahar was at first he disavowed Nuxtaku. Then he deleted that video and apologized to Nuxtaku and doubled down with him. Then I think they had a falling out and he disavowed him again. But at that point the damage had been done and everybody had exposed Mudahar had been exposed through DMs and leaks as being a gooner. He's in those watch parties. He's gooning with them all. You know, he's there for it. So, you know, like, no one wanted to believe what he said anymore. Like, it was over for him. And then he just kind of started doing, he himself also started doing politics for a while. And then I think he just went back to actually doing gaming on his Some Ordinary Gamer channel. And he didn't leave the internet, but he definitely took a hit. And now he's come back. Now he's trying to jump back into the drama sphere. So I do want to watch some of the videos on that, but we'll do that tomorrow because it is 3 a.m. and this is usually my stopping point. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you're watching the VOD, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We go live every night at roughly 11 p.m. Follow me on Twitter to see exactly when I go live, as that time's not set in stone. Or you could join the Discord. Link is at the top of chat. And there'll be a link behind every new video I post to join the Discord. That link's usually good for 7 days. So get in there, become part of the content, help post stuff to react to, or help me react to things. For now, though, thanks for watching this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.